Hi, I'm Dr. Maria Lombardo, and I am the paleo cosmetic surgeon. We're doing a cooking demonstration tonight, and first thing that we're going to start out with is life-altering spiralized zucchini noodles with linguine with clam sauce. So I hope you enjoy it. So one of the first things that I want to show you that is really very exciting the first time you see it, although it has been around for a while and I know some of you already know about it, is the spiralizer. And this is it. And I do want to say a little shout out to Cheryl. She bought a few for tonight, so if you are interested in getting one, she does have some available to purchase tonight if you want. So one of the first things that people miss when they go paleo is pasta. And you can't have pasta, it has the wheat in it. So we have to make our own noodles out of something else. And this little device makes it possible to make noodles out of a yellow squash. Nice. And it really does make noodles out of spaghetti squash, or out of squashes. And you can do cucumbers. See, even the babies are impressed. And you can do cucumbers, carrots, apples. We've made desserts out of spiralized things before. Zucchinis and yellow squash are kind of the easiest and most used, I think, just because of the shape of it is really conducive to this process. I will warn you that you should probably cut these, otherwise when you try to get this up on a fork, it doesn't really work a whole lot. So you really do have to kind of break them up a little bit. And any pasta sauce, so your grandmother's, favorite recipe for linguine with clam sauce, which we happen to be making tonight, you can actually do with spiralized vegetable noodles. The other thing about this little device is you end up with that. And you can throw that away, you can sort of nibble on it, or we're actually going to chop these up and throw them in our sauce. Particularly with zucchini, they just kind of melt and more vegetables in your sauce. So, not that you need to see it again, but now we're going to use the zucchini. It's a different color, but really simple. Blades are super sharp. Watch out when you're cleaning it. That's kind of the biggest thing about this, is actually keeping it clean and not cutting yourself in the process. And it's fun and easy. Nice, thank you. And there you go. So once again, you get kind of 6 feet of noodles. So like I said, Cheryl has some available if you are interested, and let her know. All right, so we're going to sample these a little bit later. If you want to throw those in the thing. All right, so our first sauce that we're going to put on our noodles is the linguine with clam sauce. So we're just going to get some fire going here. And it is the Paleo Demo Back to Basics handout if you're following along. Just a little olive oil. And we did an awful lot of prep ahead of time so that this could go pretty quickly. So I'm not going to teach you how to chop onions. I'm assuming you probably already know how to do that. We're going to throw some of those in there. Now, for the clam sauce, we're going to throw in a ton of garlic. I'm Italian, so I can't help it. And I just have a garlic press here. You can throw this in a food processor. You can chop it up really rough. The finer you actually chop up garlic, the more intense the flavor is, and almost has a spiciness to it. So if you use a garlic press like this, it actually brings a lot of that out. So if you like that, that's a way to do it. Okay. And I can control these a little bit, which is good. Okay, so we're going to let those soften a little bit, the onions brown up a little bit. And in the meantime, we're going to open some clams. Now, you want to reserve the juice on this because the juice that comes in the cans actually has a lot of the flavor as well. And you also want that juice in your sauce, just for the liquid. So you want to open the cans, drain out the liquid and reserve it for later. Most of the produce and foods that we're using tonight came from Trader Joe's. And I know a lot of you went to the Trader Joe's tour the other day. So we're using a lot of their same products that are super easy to get. And really inexpensive. Cheryl, what was our budget for the whole? We're cooking for basically 50 people tonight. And what was our budget at Trader Joe's? How much did we spend? There you go. So that is pretty impressive. All right, so these are starting to, the garlic and the onions are starting to brown a little bit. So we're going to add our clams in, and we're going to let those brown for a minute as well. We are going to add some more liquid to our reserved clam juice here, and 2/3 of a cup. All right, and we took the liberty of chopping some parsley too. So we're going to throw that in. I like to cook some parsley into it at the beginning, but I also like to garnish it at the end with some fresh parsley because that has that nice fresh herby pop. All right, so we're just trying to not let anything burn here. Now, the recipe for the clam sauce calls for salt and pepper, but I would reserve that till the very, very end because clams, depending on the type of can that you get, can be really salty to begin with. So really reserve the salt till the end. I personally like a ton of pepper, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of that in. And then now that the clams are starting to brown a little bit, we're just going to put in the combined chicken broth and reserved clam juice. And we're basically going to let that simmer and reduce down a bit. The chicken broth and the clam juice are really very watery, basically. And one of the other things that people miss when they go paleo is that thick, delicious roux-based sauce that has flour in it. So I'm going to teach you a little trick. We're using some arrowroot to thicken this up a bit too.